So this is my Aeropress. I'm using the same grinder, I think. It's a Varia grinder. I think if not the same scale, it's a similar one. And I'm going to, fresh beans are important. I really love these beans. The freshest beans that I can get locally, which I use for this, are from a roasting company here in Santa Barbara. And they advised me to wait at least a few days if it's been weighed that day. I use about 20 grams for my Aeropress, and that yields 10 ounces or about 300 mil. Sometimes I go to 22, just in case I want it a little stronger. That's 22.4. I think these beans are pretty fresh because they send them to me every 20 days, and I know they have a lot of customers, so they're not sitting on the shelf for very long. I don't spritz my beans, but I might start doing that because I think the static is causing them to sit there in the grinder. Fortunately, it has that pump. So I'll kind of pump as it's grinding. Otherwise it clots. And it's not quite as fine a grind as what you'd find for what you do for here. On this, I set it again for the same thing. 18 grams, I think, is what this will put out. The grinder will put out, and then I adjust the grind in order to get my 36 grams of coffee using this in 25 to 30 seconds. This is a little cantankerous. The first shot usually is either it doesn't put out enough coffee in that amount of time, or the second one is usually about right for the settings I have, but I haven't dialed it in, and it seems like it's almost impossible to get it completely dialed in. I hit it again, make sure all the coffee's ground out, and there we go. Nothing else is coming out. It's my Aeropress. I have this for my pour over, and it allows me to put the coffee in without making a mess. This is just a handy little thing that I happen to have because I don't do pour overs, hardly ever. The Aeropress is my go-to in the morning. In the afternoons I'll use this for an espresso. And I'm going to take a break and heat up the water. So I normally fill this up with, this is about a 10 ounce. If I fill it to that line there, I give it a little bit more because I'm going to preheat the cup. It's heated up to 95 degrees Celsius, just off the boil. And I'm not going to start the timer yet because I'm going for 2 minutes, but it's going to be a little bit more because I don't quite fill it to the top yet. Give it a stir and make sure all the grounds are wet. And the reason I don't fill it all the way up is because it will make a mess when I stir. And once everything's nicely wet, now I use this to rinse off the stick, the stir stick, and polish it up to the top. Filter, I like paper filters. There's stainless screens as well, but flavor changes, it's not bad. This is just what I'm used to. start the timer for 2 minutes. And while that's happening, I preheat the cup. Put the lid on, get that nice and warm. And in about 1:45, I clean this off, put it back. Okay, the timer's off. I'll dump that water. And this is the reverse Aeropress. You can make it over the cup like this. I don't know why, but I just like the reverse method. And there's lots of techniques for pressing this out. Some people go about halfway and wait for a certain amount of time, and I don't. The amount of pressure you have to use on it depends on the grind, and this seems about right to me. It takes a little bit of pressure, but I'm not working too hard to get it to go through. With the paper filter, of course, it takes a little more pressure too. So they say that some people say that the best coffee is the French press. This is sort of like a French press without the grounds in the coffee. So if it's not an espresso, I think this is the next best way to go. I do like pour overs. I used to have a piano teacher that would make pour overs for me before my lesson, and he'd use a different coffee every time, and it was fun. Almost there. And now I'm really putting my weight into it because I want to get all of that goodness out of there. I'll check it. See, it's leaking a little bit there. Give it another good hard press or two. And then I have just under 10 ounces of coffee. If you want a little more volume, just add more hot water. That's a good cup. I have my earbuds in usually, and I'm listening to Morning Edition. That's my routine.